Okay, we're live. Hello, welcome to another edition of the AttractWell Office Hours. I'm Coach Ashley. Today we're joined by founders Greg and Amanda Kilwine. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Really glad to have you here today. As you're coming in, let us know where you're coming in from. If you're here looking for help for your coaching business today or consulting business, service-based business, we work with a lot of different kinds of folks here. If you're here looking for help with your business, how to get new clients, how to set up automations in your system, a review of your copy, or whatever you got going on, we're here and happy to help you with that today. Today, we're going to be talking about what it really takes to actually attract clients to you. And really what I think is sort of at the crux of why a lot of people feel like the marketing strategies that they try, that they purchase, that they follow don't seem to work. So I want to get into that today. We've got some slides to share, and then we'll share plenty of time at the close of this brief training to work with you one-on-one on whatever you need help with in your business, in your AttractWell system, and so on. And for those of you who are brand new and maybe you're watching this as a replay on YouTube, future person, hi, we have a complete system to run your service-based business. And that is the complete everything, meaning your lead generation in one place, managing and keeping track of and moving your clients through the metrics that you set forth with them in the same place, how you scale and grow, automate, manage everything, take payments, online courses, coaching programs, all that kind of stuff, all in one nice little pretty package for one price that you would normally pay upwards of $1,000 for. Basically, else to have all of that running like a nice smooth machine in your business. So if you're just getting started or you are finally trying to take a breather from all those really confusing, duct taped, expensive, stressful systems that you could have used in the past, we are happy to help you find a home here. So if you ever have any questions, of course, if you're here live, ask in the Q&A and then leave a comment under the video here on YouTube, or the quickest and best way is to reach out to our incredibly responsive team, support@attractwell.com. So I'm going to head over. Lorraine, you understand the duct tape. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. There's an entire industry of companies, it's a niche industry to be fair, but it's big money to be the duct tape, right? Have you ever heard of like Zapier? They're a duct tape company. They exist to duct tape this service to that service to that service. And then you've got to try to make sure that they all stay in touch. If you got time for that in your business and you're super nerd on about internet marketing, cool, good on you. But I don't know, most of us aren't. We just want something that works so we can do what we're good at, stay in our zone of genius. So anyway, all right, so let's get into some slides. Oops, forgot. Let's grab videos, guys, for the recording. Thanks. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to attract clients and what it really takes to have them come to you. All right, so what's happening today is first we're going to get into our training, the one thing that breaks even the best marketing strategies, how to make any strategy work for you, the one-page business pipeline, and live coaching on lead generation strategies. If you're here today and you would like some guidance on how to get more leads for your business, we can break that down and get some context in place and figure out what the right next steps are for you. And then, of course, we have live help and Q&A. All right, so tell us about your business. I am really excited to hear, what kind of business do you have? Are you a coach? Who do you work with? When someone asks you, what do you do? What's your answer? Leave us a comment and let us know. We obviously don't all neatly fit into a box. We'd love to know exactly what glorious form your business takes. And if you have questions or need help, we do have a Q&A here live on Zoom. Of course, if you watch this as a recording, you can go to support@attractwell.com, but go ahead and add it to the Q&A here on the call, and we will be getting to those as we can through the training here, and then of course after as well. If you want to work together on an upcoming call, you can go to attractwell.com/work review. And that's all one word. And if you do, you'll be able to sign up for dedicated space for us to work together on an upcoming live call. So, question for you guys. Did you know our members save hundreds a month when they switch from the other duct taped platforms, as we were just discussing, when you bring all of these things that you might have been using to run your business before, trying to tape them all together, you save a ton of money because we have everything that your digital brand needs to get found, convert leads, serve clients, and scale. And you have the ability to create a system where you are generating leads online, they're coming to you, and it doesn't have to be expensive and complicated. It just doesn't. It's very easy to make it complicated and expensive. And there are plenty of guru coaches out there selling you on 17 different systems that they're affiliates for all of them for. And, good on them. That's their business model. But if you really want something simple, we've got that here for you. So whether you're looking to attract leads, automate your business process, or launch your courses or programs, or just serve your clients more effectively at a better time management economy, you get everything that you would have paid thousands for, all under one roof with AttractWell. So if you want to be on the list to join these calls live in the future, go to attractwell.com/office hours. I have a question for you guys. Let me know in the chat. Do you love marketing? How many of you here today loves marketing? Like you're really into it. Really, really, really like marketing. Oh, I'm seeing an emphatic no. just a big old screamy no. Nope. Nope. Okay. Whole lot of I don't like marketing here. All right. What about prospecting? Do you like going out and searching for opportunities to talk to somebody that you could maybe try to sell on your business? More screams, nopes, and screams. Such an introvert. Oh my God, I hear you. Yeah. So prospecting, don't love it. Natural prospecting is great because Ginger, what is natural prospecting? Those are conversations, right? It's aligned conversations when things are in flow. It's not even prospecting. We're just talking, right? We just happen to have things that are a fit for each other. What about pitching? Selling. Who loves to pitch and sell stuff? Anybody? Anybody? Am I the only one? I super love doing that. That's why I am in this chair. Yeah. So most of us don't. Most of us don't love it. So let me ask you, I think this is the last question. Did you start out on your journey to be a coach or to, let's see, what else are we doing here? To be a VA, to be an energy healer, to help people have more energy, feel better, sleep, avoid disease, live healthy lives of vitality. When you decided to do these things, did you start off excited that you might also be marketing, selling, and closing? No, no, of course not. We didn't get into what we do to get into something else, but ultimately it's a fact of life about what we do, right? Thumbs down. So the fact is these things, marketing, selling, closing, these are things that our business has to do to grow, right? If we have a service-based business, these things must happen. And they're not easy for most of us, right? Some of us are, weird and just really get into that. And then, they build a coaching career out of working with people around that kind of thing. And that's me. Hello. That's not most of us, right? So let me ask you guys this. Are you, maybe it's just a quick show of hands. Are you certified in the work that you do? Did you go to school or, a certification program, training program? And even if you weren't certified, you've obviously done a great deal of research and practice at what you do to get to where you are. So, oh yeah, I see MBAs, a bunch of yeses, some no's too. So for those of you who went to school or got certified, what did your school teach you to do to get new clients? Or did they teach you anything at all? Maybe let me know in the comments. I know a lot of, see nothing, see several nothings. I know that there are some, if you go to school for being a health coach, sometimes there's a couple of modules and things like that. Melissa says, I was taught to work for someone else. Aren't we brought up that way? Let me see, nothing paid for a yoga business course. That was a separate thing, I'm sure. Yeah. So basically you're having to invest in things outside of your expertise to be able to practice your expertise, right? So if you were taught something, which I don't know, maybe I think I saw one, is it working? The stuff that you got taught to do the thing that you do today, is it helping you get new clients? And I'm very interested in hearing the outliers because I would love to connect with any schools or certifying agencies that are actually doing a really great job at training their people at being successful in business after they graduate. Really, really very interested in that. No kidding. Please reach out to me. I'm Ashley at AttractWell.com. I would absolutely love to have that conversation. See, the fact is it doesn't usually work this way, right? Here we go. In the business course that helped me, but missing the bringing in prospects part, they provide social media resources, planning to create a course. Wish I had taken entrepreneurial courses. Okay, yeah. So the fact is, even if you went through what is often quite expensive certification for what you do, very likely do you ever walk away from it. And guys, this is even true if you're a chiropractor listening today. You know the phrase practice management, and you know that entire industry exists because chiropractic schools are not churning out business owners; they're churning out practitioners, right? And that's fine. I mean, we should be staying close to our zone of genius, but we don't necessarily expect that we have to figure all of this stuff out when we decide that we want to start practicing our passion and doing the work that we want to do. So the truth is that wherever you've learned previously, right? If you've been watching YouTube videos or you bought a business course or whatever, whoever you've learned from about how to get new clients isn't necessarily wrong. If you Google how to find new clients, how to get new clients right now, you're going to find, no kidding, over 1.3 billion with a B results as an answer to your question. That's an overwhelming number of ways to figure out how to get clients to come to you, right? And the majority of the answers to how do I find new clients are actually correct, right? Just because some of this stuff is frustrating or you feel like it's not working for you doesn't mean that the stuff is wrong, because the majority of marketing strategies that are sold or taught are fundamentally incomplete strategies, right? How many of you guys, I know I see everybody who's here like right now, maybe doesn't necessarily have a certifying body that provided some, business training, but have you invested in a course or coaching program or something like that to help you get more clients? Is that something that you've done? Maybe a quick show of hands. And let me know in the chat, like, how has that worked for you? Are you getting clients? Do you feel more clear about how to get clients based on that? See, the thing is, right, again, and I'm never going to be one. Well, no, not never. There certainly are outliers that I wish did not operate in our space because I believe in integrity. But the vast majority of people who are selling strategies really are correct in one way or another. But they're selling something because it worked for them, right? It worked for them. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work the same for you, right? So you can have a beautiful engineered machine, and maybe what you've been sold before is a beautifully engineered machine that is literally built around someone else's business, right? But if that machine, when we take it to your business, is missing a component, the machine doesn't run, right? So to figure out what you're missing, what that component is that needs to go into this machine to make that strategy work for you, we need a schematic. We need a big picture of your business and how your whole big machine will run, right? Now, if you were here last week, then this is going to be familiar to you. If not, welcome. This is our big picture business pipeline. It is funnel shaped. If you can see very kind of subtly on the outsides here, we're kind of narrowing down to the bottom. First, we got to get clear on what all this stuff is that's in your business. And the most important thing is what's down on the bottom, right? So if you want flow and ease, everything in your business has to logically connect to the other parts of your business, right? How many of you were here last week? Maybe just a quick show of hands. I can go kind of give like a refresh on what this means, if not. But basically what we're looking at here, you guys, is an overview of how people from the top filter down through systems in your business to come out on the other side as your client, right? And it naturally, it's going to narrow, right? Because you have the potential of, not maybe if time weren't a factor, then, you have a potential of getting in front of 6 billion people, right? Because there's so many people on the planet. But realistically, you're only going to get in front of so many. That's at the top. And only so many of those are going to be interested in what you have to say. And then only so many of those are going to be interested in taking steps forward. And only so many of those are going to say yes, and so on, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about here. We're going to, over time and on these trainings, we'll get into more of the finer points of these individual pieces. But that's the whole thing, right? So things need to connect. And this is where the disconnect begins when we're trying to employ marketing strategies that you may have found elsewhere. Maybe you've bought a course again, or you've been taught something. The reason why it doesn't work typically, and what I see the majority of the time, when something doesn't work, it's because there's not a logical connection between these parts of your business. Okay. Everything starts down here, right? Because this is how you help people. This is literally what you do, is this stuff that's down here. Everything up top serves to bring people toward what you do. right? A lot of us kind of jump the gun and we try to put what we do out at the very top of this in front of the whole world. And everybody passes by because nobody cares, because they don't understand what's in it for them. We provide context through these layers that live on top of it and save you time by creating instances where people qualify themselves for your one-on-one time. But that's a whole other tangent. So everything starts down here at the bottom with literally what you offer. So if you work one-on-one, if you do group programs, courses, if you sell network marketing products, like all of that stuff is the stuff that lives down here at the bottom, right? So our goal is to put what you offer in context with what they want. That's the other piece that's missing here, right? Context, really, the short answer is like the one thing that's missing from the marketing strategies that don't work is context. And that is the context of what you offer in your business, in the context of that marketing strategy, and context of how what you offer fits in with the language of what the person you want to serve actually wants. So our first step in figuring this out is going to be outlining the journey. So maybe let me know, do you know what you sell? What do you sell? Let us know in the chat. What is it that you sell? If somebody pays you money, what are they paying you for? What is the thing that you are selling to them? And do you know what your client's journey is from now to wow? If somebody is where they are right now, they know that they need to get somewhere. They know there's something in their way. They need help getting there. What is the journey? Freedom from pain, freedom from food addiction, VA services, understanding and discerning love, essential oils for health and wellness, aging gracefully. You know what the journey looks like? So that's what you're selling. You guys know what you're selling. Do you know what the journey looks like? If your perfect client were to show up right now, could you describe your journey with them? Could you just imagine that you've got a roadmap, back when we used to use maps before GPS, and you could say, okay, point on the map right here. Here's where you are right now. And here's where we're going. This is, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is the star on the other side of the map. And here's some of the things that we're going to be moving through together. Here's the journey over this hill and over this mountain and through this valley, right? Do you know what that journey is? That is the most important thing that you need to know, is what that journey is. Because if you want to attract your clients, you've got to be able to show up speaking their language. And your client, to keep the map analogy, they know that point B they want to get to. They also know that they're having a hard time getting to it, right? You got to show up speaking their language. They want to know that you can get them to that point B, to where they want to go. So the first thing you got to do, you guys, map the journey. What does that look like? I love to use an outline for this in the Client Funnel Challenge. That is the very first step that you do in mapping out your funnel, right? We talk about this. Actually, go back and watch the other previous videos on this channel and our trainings. We talk about this there too. Outline the journey so that you know what it is that you do with them. What are the steps? The next step is to know what their roadblocks are. They've been trying to walk this journey on their own, right? What does that look like for them? What stands in their way? Because what we focus on is what's in front of us, especially if something's standing in our way, right? People are frustrated. People are looking for you. They don't know that it's you they're looking for. They don't know that it's VA services that they're looking for. They don't know that it's life coaching or reducing inflammation that they're looking for. They know what's in their way, right? What you focus on grows and our problems get really big in our lives, right? So your people aren't necessarily looking for what you call yourself. They're looking for point B in that map. They're looking to feel control again, to save their marriage, to reinvent themselves, whatever that outcome is. They want that end result of the journey with you on that map, right? Now, the next step is to help them get past that roadblock, or a single roadblock, because you know that that journey has got lots of hills and lots of obstacles. Help them get past one of them. So this is where a marketing funnel becomes incredibly useful, and definitely check out our previous trainings on this. But take a step or a process or a tool from what you ultimately offer. And then we're going to require that they opt in some way to get access to that tool. So let's just say, for instance, let me go back. What is I can't like scroll through my chat right here, can I? Okay, here we go. All right, so if you are going to offer freedom from food addiction, Terry, you offering freedom from food addiction, and you have a journey that you take them through so that their point A is, their relationship with food is fractured and they're struggling in a number of different ways that you would be able to uniquely spell out. Their point B is that they're able to go out to eat with friends and not have an issue, that they're able to look at their refrigerator as just a normal thing that's in their house. They'll be able to go to holiday gatherings and not feel stressed out. That's their point B, right? So the journey is them becoming a new version of themselves that's operating in this different way, right? So we can go out there and share information that speaks to that person that is trying to make those changes. But if we understand that there are some unique roadblocks that comes up in that person's path, right? Maybe that is portion control, right? Maybe they are struggling because maybe they overeat sometimes. And maybe there's something that a little trick, something that you teach your clients to help them manage their portion sizes. You put that into some kind of thing that you can give away, right? And we're just going to require that people opt in. They need to send you a direct message so you start a conversation. They need to join a lead group where maybe they can get access to that. Or if you're going to run a challenge around it, then they need to join that. Or if you have a funnel, they opt in and they get that thing as a PDF or a video, what have you. Does that make sense? Quick show of hands, right? We can attract our people by showing up and not saying, I am this expert, but saying, hey, you know what? You're on that journey and I get it. There are things in your way. Here's a thing. Here, this is going to help you jump over that roadblock. If you like that, maybe we can talk some more. Does that make sense? That's the idea here, right? So we're going to require that people in some way opt in. And then finally, we're going to go out and talk about that thing that we're giving away, right? We're not talking about our program because people aren't ready to hear about your program, right? They're not ready to hear about the whole big thing you do. They're ready to open a conversation with someone that they trust. Well, if they don't know you, they don't trust you yet. That's where that free thing that we just talked about comes in, right? So the next thing that we do is we go out into the world and we say, here is one of my favorite recipes for stabilizing blood sugar. Here is an essential oil roller bottle recipe that I use to fight cravings, or whatever it is, right? And you're just giving these things away, trickling them out in the world. Maybe you're showing up and giving a class, public speaking, you're sharing a little post on social media, you're making YouTube videos, whatever, right? Attracting people to you means creating a breadcrumb trail that is relevant to them, that they want to follow. And you leave treasures for them in the form of these things at the second level of this pipeline where they can opt themselves in and start to take action and move toward that conversation with you. So the final step is to keep showing up where they are in those ways to serve their needs, creating content, providing helpful knowledge, being present, right? When they start to see you as being somebody who is there, who gets them, who is ready to help and serve and understands where they are and where they want to be, they will show up and they will ask for you, right? It just takes consistency at that point, right? So when your pipeline is supported by logical structures underneath it, right? You remember at the beginning, I mentioned these things have to be connected to each other. A lot of times people will create a funnel and just, kind of say, oh, well, maybe if I talk about this thing, that'll get me leads. That's not how this works. Like if it has to be connected to the thing at the bottom, right? It needs context. Everything here has context to another piece. That is what creates flow. And that's what we're talking about, right? We want people to find us. We want them to come to us ready, right? We don't want to be out there prospecting and chasing. Then we need to show up relevant. And then the things that we offer need to be relevant. And then the next steps need to be logical and relevant to the steps before them, right? So all of this begins with what you offer. That is the foundation of what you do. From there, how you convert them, right? How do you turn them into a client? And I think that with the majority of us, it's going to be a one-on-one of some kind, right? Zoom or phone or what have you, in person. And they're going to make their way there via some kind of experience that you provide after they've opted in, said yes to some kind of free thing that you've given them to help them on their journey, right? And now we know that whoever opts in to get that free thing is definitely a candidate for the big picture, because it's literally a part of the big picture, the thing that they opted in for, right? So I want to help you guys figure out your next move in the context of this right here. Talked about that super briefly here with Terry. But if you guys, we can turn a video back on, who would like to chat about getting a strategy in place for you? Because again, you know, I feel like I came here and I was like, here's the one thing. Well, the one thing is you. The one thing is your business. And now we have some time here today to work on this together. So maybe I'm going to take hands down real quick. And if you would like to pop out and let's chat, then raise yours and we'll bring you out. Okay, Cheryl, let's talk.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you today?
Excellent, excellent. What kind of, like, what do you do in your business?
I have been using essential oils for a long time. I've been sharing a little bit here and there over the years, and now I want to take it to the next level and connect it with, I just graduated and certified as a hypnotherapist. So the life coach hypnotherapy, I'm so excited about it, and the oils just fit. And so I have this dream to create this whole business. And as I felt like what was keeping me from moving forward in the essential oils business is I'm not an good organizer. I am so challenged. I don't need papers and this and post-it notes. It just is a horror story for me. So this is what brought me to Get Oiling. And I love it. I have some marketing background, but not the technology, not these wonderful systems, but this is what I want. So I've been maybe 3 months now. I'm building the essential oil business and doing the IPAs, and in the background, trying to set up the website and the funnels and things like that. And where I'm lost is, I mean, I just happened to be able to come today, and this is what I need: how to connect all of this and understand the technology instead of it just popping up and I'm not sure where it's going.
Sure. Well, the best way to understand the technology is to be present first, to be present through these processes in your business, because then you'll be able to better identify where the technology should go to show up in your place, right? So the best game plan for using tech is always to be very present for the entire process and then start to say, okay, where can tech go? Because it's not going to do everything, right? Like it's not going to, in your oils business, tech is not going to do your follow-up for you. It can facilitate your follow-up process, absolutely, in some pretty extraordinary ways, but it's not a replacement. So it's less overwhelming and ultimately, I think, more successful long-term if we really chart the path with full presence. And then we're moving forward from there, creating supplements that save us time. So are you in a place right now where you're wanting to start branding yourself and offering hypnotherapy and these other services?
Yes.
Or are you are? Okay, wonderful. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Who is the person that you really want to be working with?
My niche, if you will, I do know some marketing terms, is women, usually over 30 or 40 years, who, and I'm still thinking this through, but there's some kind of disharmony, discomfort. There's something triggering in their lives that they would like to overcome. It's usually and often on an emotional level, spiritual level, well, all areas, mind, body, spirit. and looking for a way. They've probably gone through all kinds of therapy and nothing seemed to really break through or completely help them to the level they wanted. And so have they tried hypnotherapy? Let's work with that.
Okay. Okay. So there's someone who is aware that there are things that she wants to work on. And she's maybe tried some things, including investing in therapy services, things like that, to help her get there.
Correct.
Where does she hang out?
That's an excellent idea. That's an excellent question.
Or who does she see who is serving her? Is she the type of person who's going to a chiropractor already?
I work less with physical, although I know chiropractors have a whole holistic look. Oftentimes they're probably going to private therapy of some type, PhD or some kind of social service.
But do you think, but just thinking about her in terms, and this is definitely, it's more of, it's just as much an oils related question. Like, is she the type of person who may be open to going to a chiropractor or is like seeking holistically oriented services for herself? Or is she someone who's unfamiliar with that? Have you thought about that?
They're more likely to go, in my experience, they're more likely to go for, I want to quit smoking, I want to lose weight, I am anxious, or I need to reduce stress.
Okay.
And a lot of times they're going to get self-help books.
Okay, so she is proactive. So what I would encourage you to do first is really get clear on who she is. And getting clear on who she is looks like this. She is a full three-dimensional person. She is probably someone who shares, who is representative of the attributes of a particular person that you connect with really well. This could potentially be an earlier version of yourself. Or it's somebody who's kind of a mashup of some different qualities, but it's a whole person. They have maybe they have a spiritual practice. They go to they go to some kind of worship center. They have kids or they don't, or they want them. They they are loyal to certain kinds of brands. We want to really kind of think about who the whole person is here and not just the list of symptoms that might bring her to you, because the fact is if we want to attract, we need to show up where they are. And so this is where the question of, what does she have a spiritual orientation? Does she go to chiropractor? That kind of thing allows you the opportunity to kind of get in the head of this person and figure out where you can show up and be helpful, right? Because you could go and lead a workshop in a house of worship, in some kind of empowering strategy and hypnotherapy, and even incorporating your oils. Or you could do this at a chiropractor's office, or you could do this virtually and reach out to people if these are holistically oriented people, perhaps. And I would encourage you, if this isn't something that you've really zoned, kind of narrowed in on yet, with oils being part of your business, I would encourage you to incorporate that as a consideration. So people who are already open to things like acupuncture, chiropractic, yoga, stuff like that are going to be more apt to comply with holistic therapies, as well as to be open to or somewhat educated and are open to essential oils. So, so just kind of understanding the whole of this person, again, not just because practitioners can often look at their ideal person as a very flat representation of a list of symptoms or presenting issues on a sheet. It's very two-dimensional. We just want to get a little bit deeper into that and know who that person is, because then you can say, instead of saying, I can help you quit smoking, we can say, it's something that's really more in keeping with what she really wants. Like maybe this particular person wants to quit smoking so that she can run a marathon or get back into the shape that she was in her 20s, or, have energy because she's got grandkids on the way, right? Like these are all very different people and different considerations. So I think starting with understanding who that person is going to be a really important first step for you, because that will contextualize the journey. So when you say, I, help people with hypnotherapy and oils, or, some more eloquent version of what I've just said there, you would be describing the journey as, here's where we're starting. And you can actually really, say, this is where you are. And you could say that in a video that 25 different people can watch and they all agree that's where I am if we know our person. And then you're saying, all right, the first thing we're going to do is move through this concept. And that's not, I'm going to, make you close your eyes and breathe and count to 10. And, it's not the mechanisms, it's the journey, it's the emotional journey that they're going through. And on the other side is this freedom, or this, whatever that version is that they're looking for. So
that's excellent. And can I take a minute to tell you what
Please.
I am focusing on?
Yes.
I have had a journey with breast cancer and am connected with a large hospital who has an integrative health services. And so they're just getting started. And so I'm trying to position myself to be one of their vendors, including this hypnotherapy. And so one of the services is that it's awesome how you can offer hypnotherapy to help people overcome their anxiety for surgery and help them walk through this, beautiful mindset of, this is going to work. This is for my good. This is for my benefit. And it makes such a difference on how they go into surgery, how their body reacts to surgery, how they respond to so many things. Am I getting there? Is this?
Yeah, Cheryl, that's extraordinary. That's extraordinary.
It's women that have gone through this, what I've gone through, which I think we get involved with because of that, and helping them with all the anxiety and stress levels that go through it and can be the roadblocks.
You're selling peace of mind and giving the power back to them.
Amen. Yes, I absolutely. That's what's opening up to me right now.
That's extraordinary. And what a wonderful opportunity you have. So
they're just starting the program. They just have just a couple of people and they're utilizing yoga and things like that. It's very progressive.
that is so great. So, I mean, honestly, what I would do from there moving forward is I would ready yourself by finding someone who is in your community, someone that you are connected to, who's maybe shared a similar story, someone that you've helped. You had your journey, you've helped people already, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would do is go back and create something like a case study for the specific, and we're not talking about, this is a cancer case study. We got to be compliant with what we're doing, right, in our language. Right. But be thinking, think about exactly what you're talking about here. So this was pre-treatment. She felt like this. We worked together. She felt like that.
We can do testimonies, right?
Yes.
Yes,
That's right.
Testimonies. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do have to be mindful of what you publish on your website and have your right disclaimers and all that kind of stuff. And I know this because I know you're a Young Living distributor. So I just want to be compliant where that's concerned.
Very well schooled in that.
yeah, I'm sure. So yeah, just what you want to do is focus it's not on the mechanisms, right? It's not because it's hypnotherapy or because you used release or believe or like an oil blend. It's because she felt like this and now she feels like that, right? It's the journey. It's the actual outcome that she's looking for. So, so I would go and mine those existing, relationships and circumstances, clients, those stories, so that you can start putting those together into your language that you're using, but then that ultimately can come together on your website. And then maybe you can think about something like, is there something that you could give away? That just to kind of get to know you and see whether or not following you is something they want to continue doing. Maybe you can create a little guided meditation or something.
It's very important in hypnotherapy. Most people don't know much about it. And it's absolutely necessary that you have rapport with the client. They can't,
Yeah.
they
And
can't
maybe even having an intro to hypnotherapy, just a very simple overview video that you can have on a website just to kind of address those questions. And that would be something that you feature on a page that's very specifically about the services that you provide. But on, say, like the homepage of your website that you'll make, that's really going to be about how, you do have the power to get through this. You have that in you. Let me help you find it. Right?
So, yes, yes. And so this is okay to, as I'm developing this essential oil website, that it is hypnotherapy. It's not an add-on website. You know what I'm
Well, so
saying?
yeah. So actually what you're going to do is you're going to have a website for your brand, for your business, right? So
Okay.
this is, your website is Cheryl. And when you work with Cheryl, you tap into this God-given power that you have to have the strength to get through some of the hardest times in your life. I'm Cheryl. Here's my story. I got through this hard time. Here are some ways that we can work together. And then they go and they learn about hypnotherapy or oils or a program or what have you. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see what you do.
Oh,
Oh, that's so cool.
it's thrilling. It's so thrilling to be able to offer this. So thank you for
Absolutely.
helping
I
me
hope
get
you,
there.
yeah, of course. I hope you'll come join us on a call again, and want to keep up with your journey.
Excellent. I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. All right, Kara, I've got your hand up here and I'm gonna click to allow you to talk. Let me know if you'd rather not, if I got that wrong.
No, yeah, I would like, can
Perfect.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Hi.
Awesome. Awesome. Hi. I forgot your original question, why I raised my hand. I guess is just like, I just moved to AttractWell from Kajabi. And thank you guys for putting this out there because honestly, it is way more simple and a lot cheaper. I've been on this journey of trying to attract clients and I'm having a hard time. And even though I can get the tech skills and follow the marketing plan of like how to lay out the website. And I love the story brand method of inviting the people into a story, and a journey and then sell them that way. I'm having a hard time with my messaging in my social media posts and what I'm putting out there to really get people to take action. So in terms of AttractWell, I've just started building out the email sequence funnel. So I have the freebie and I uploaded that. I'm creating the emails and I've done it before, but I feel like something's just missing, like a spark. And I think it's what you were talking about with this last woman, meeting people where they're at. And in my mind, I'm like, I need to talk to them about, their symptoms or connect with where they are. But I don't know. I'm missing something. Something's missing.
Okay. Do you know the full three-dimensional person? Do you know her?
Maybe that's okay. So I thought I was like, I want to connect with somebody who's just like me. So I'm a trauma coach. I'm a certified trauma coach. I'm yoga teacher, Reiki master. And I help women who have been abused in abusive and toxic relationships as adults overcome that, liberate themselves from the trauma of that abuse, and kind of go after their happily ever after. And what I found in my own research and from my own experience is that what attracts us, that we don't realize, what attracts us to toxic and abusive people in a lot of cases is our own childhood trauma. So it's like a combination of childhood trauma healing and healing the abuse. So I tend to get really caught up in the science because I love talking about the science of why this happens to you. But I'm also a spiritual coach. And then I move over to the spiritual world of like, okay, now that we understand the science of it in your mind body, now let's go into aligning with your soul, because your soul came into this life to live out this happily ever after, this purpose, this, whatever it is that you want. before the trauma of childhood kind of stopped you from going after those things. So I understand the journey of where they've been and where they're going. And when I've worked with clients, when I doing like Reiki stuff and life coaching, I was doing stress coaching for moms and corporate people before. I always had really great results and connect really well with them. But when it comes to online marketing, I'm having a hard time maybe focusing on that one message or inspiring them to connect with me. So here's the thing. So I started talking a lot about trauma and childhood trauma and abuse and stuff. And then I started having men connect with me, and that wasn't really my demographic. And I thought, oh, my messaging's wrong, or I'm not attracting the right people. And so it got me a little bit confused. And I was like, maybe I'm supposed to be, working with men, because childhood abuse really affects, all of our relationships throughout our entire life, and our ability to visualize and feel motivated and to even know what it is that we want. It really changes the way our brain functions. So, and maybe I don't know the three-dimensional person completely. Like, should I niche down to like, how niche do I need to get on that one person?
Interesting you bring up that word. I have issues with that word. I think that I think that that using niche as an idea or as a construct, it actually kind of it separates the humanness or the humanity between us and who this three-dimensional being really should be, because a niche doesn't have a promised land that it's looking to, and a niche is more of a demographic set. And if you're creating a course that you are, paying an agency to run ads for, and you want that all to be math, marketing, scaly stuff, and you're not doing the service-based business, niche is fine for that. In a personal brand and in a service-based business like this, I think that we really need to kind of have more dressing and more layers to make that a whole human. So what I would say is this: you get to decide, number one, if you aren't clear, you will attract unclear results. So, you know in your soul if it is men and women, or just women or whatever, in terms of who you want to be attracting. But I think more importantly, if we have, you mentioned sort of, this desired outcome, right, of who they want to be and how they want life to feel. That picture, if we were to get as close to sort of like a niche as possible, it would be people who all want that same thing, right? Or people who share maybe a general similar worldview, right? Like they believe that the world could be a certain way. They share values. They buy certain products, they vote a certain way, they align themselves with things that they feel are representative of them, that make them who they are. And I think that, just in hearing you speak and talk about who you're working with, or who you want to be working with, your person is aspiring for something. And I would venture to guess that this is someone, maybe if you're on Instagram or if you're using Instagram much, this is someone who probably really does get some kind of fulfillment or inspiration out of following brands and content that is inspirational or empowering.
Okay.
They're looking for things to kind of grab in their daily life, because they know that if they give themselves those things, then they have a little bit more strength to get through their day, right? So they are very likely, very, very likely, I think you know this, not at the place where they understand that trauma is the reason why they have these repeating patterns in their life, right? Or that childhood in particular is a reason why their last two relationships didn't work out. They probably don't have that clarity of origin there. What they do know is what's right in front of them, right? And the more you know exactly who that person is, the more you can articulate that what's in front of them. So if you're speaking to a woman who is maybe she's in her 20s, maybe she's in her 30s, but she is, she's wondering if she's ever actually going to be able to have a family, because, she just keeps on keeps on attracting narcissists, and she's just, it's like brick wall over brick wall over brick wall. And she's wondering if there's something wrong with her. And you know what I mean? Like, that's if we get really specific, and maybe you know that person. I certainly do. You know, and she would really like to have this life that looks a certain way. And she thinks that she knows what is standing in her way, right? And that, you know, what she thinks is standing in her way. It's just not necessarily the conversation you're leading, which is probably why the engagement isn't happening. So there's two ways that you can look at this in terms of getting more people active and paying attention to it, to be attracted to your message and what you're talking about. Number one is to paint pictures of the promised land, right? And to have that sort of, this is especially effective on Instagram, where you have, you know, sort of idealized images of life, and what that could look like, what that could feel like. And then the other side could certainly be maybe calling out the elephant in the room in their life, right? Where again, if we just go back to that, you know, maybe professional, you know, college educated girl who's in her 20s and 30s, who, you know, is not quite finding a grown-up dude that she could actually settle down with. You know, we can really talk straight with her in a way that we can't if we're sort of vanillifying or, you know, blending everything into a sort of niche, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you kind of, I guess, highlighted the two different people. I don't know. I guess that's the thing, is that I go between the aspiring message to the straight up, look at, we got to deal with this problem in your life so that you can stop running on this hamster wheel and going through these bad relationships and hurting yourself over and over and over again.
It's actually, that's one person. I mean, she's someone
Okay.
who responds to, she responds to the positive stuff. Yeah. Cause you don't want to try to attract people into your business that you're going to have to like drag along. And like, you know, you want people who are actually actively engaging with positive things, right? That they are seeking a path forward. Right. So if you provide things that are available to people who are seeking a path forward, then you know that you're dealing with a motivated person. So when it comes time for you to have the conversation about investment and working with you, you know, continuation, compliance, you know, sticking with the plan, all of that kind of stuff, it's going to be less of an uphill climb. If we just stick to the negative parts of the conversation, and it's not that we shouldn't talk about them at all. It's just if they become center stage, then we really are sort of attracting that vibe, that energy. And what can come with that is a lot of the people who are maybe too cynical to start, if that makes sense.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any other questions, we've got a few more minutes before we go.
No, I think, no, I mean, it's earlier in your presentation, you mentioned something about, what was it? Like you have the funnel and then bringing people in through the different like Instagram or blog posts and not necessarily selling them right away. Is there a certain type of language in terms of like, what's it called? Kind of inviting them to like download your freebie, like that transition of like, come and download this. But how do you make that transition from the story that you're writing to, hey, I have this freebie, or go here to connect with me? Is there something that's not so salesy and more organic, I guess, in the way that you can transition to that?
Couple of different options here. Depending on who your person is, it may be a really great idea for you to build a positive and supportive community. So think like a Facebook group of people who are your would-be clients, and maybe your actual clients can be in there as well. You know, and this can be a place where maybe you invite other like-minded practitioners, you know, to maybe share things that would be valuable to them, or you could put on display, you know, a virtual yoga class from time to time, or, you know, little free bits and bobs, little things that you can provide them, and maybe just like some daily inspiration. that is probably the easiest path to bringing that sort of like bringing them into that second layer down in your pipeline, is to say, hey, I've got a community, come join us, right? That's a really easy ask, is that. If you don't want to do that, then what you do is you figure out something that they're trying to get figured out themselves. What is one of those things? What's a roadblock that she's dealing with? I see articles like this come up all the time. If you're just scrolling through like the Google or Apple News app on the phone, 7 signs you're dealing with a narcissist or something like that. Like, stuff like that could be helpful. Like it could be like, how do you know how to walk around and leave, right? Or whatever the thing is that she might be struggling with, right? Because she's, is she a dominant personality? Is she an introvert? Is she a little woo-woo? Is she crunchy? Does she have kids? Is she established in her career path, or is she just starting? There's so many different things about her as a whole human that can guide you toward a really powerful thing that you can give her that she's going to be so glad to have. And she's going to finally be able to see that, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of this, like trauma. Like I have trauma coach. I never would have thought about that, but she's going to know because there was context there for her.
Right.
So
I see.
and
Okay. That makes
not,
a lot of sense.
if there's context, it's not salesy at all, right? Because if
Yeah.
it's for you, it's for you.
Yeah. Question about AttractWell's, about the vaults versus the classes.
Mhm.
Is a vault, can one of the vaults, is that like a Facebook community, or would you recommend building on Facebook and then inviting people into the vaults? I'm confused about that and the classes.
Got you. Yeah. So the classes feature is a vault feature, and they are both a member area feature. So member area is that part of your site on AttractWell. The member area can contain vaults. Inside the vaults, there can be pages, discussion rooms, and online classes. And a vault with those components and any combination that you want to have them, a vault is something that is popularly in our communities used to replace a Facebook group, in particular where we're talking about a client serving Facebook group. So for something that's more lead focused, there is a much lower barrier to entry and thus an easier way to convert leads, and giving them something that's very familiar, right? So adding themselves to a group is a really easy way to get leads. Having someone enter their name and email address on a page is a little bit bigger of a leap. It requires a little bit more trust. And these are kind of micro differences, to be fair. But I typically recommend, if it's a lead generating group, if you're trying to grow a big community that you can get leads from, that's a Facebook thing. But when you start offering something a little more premium, you could offer free things like a challenge. Like a lot of people will do, a 15, 28, 30-day challenge, something like that, where there'll be like a quick little video. And so the class will have day 1, day 2, day 3, and things like that. And then there could be a discussion room, where chat is happening and we're staying accountable. You could do something like that in Facebook, but again, just kind of depends on your preference. But where you start serving your clients, that is a beautiful thing to use. Vaults are a really, really great way to serve your clients, because you can actually take your teaching, right? Because, as coaches, we're really at our best when we're facilitating, not necessarily like having to be the teacher and teaching the same thing to every client, kind of like being a broken record in that way. So you can actually create videos of you doing the teaching of concepts, and then you're actually spending more time sleeves up, rolled up, working with your clients, in your time with them. So lots of different ways to use those for that.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on. All right. Really appreciate you guys showing up here today. Want to invite you to go to attractwell.com / what is that, work review? I always forget this. I'm still new to this. attractwell.com / work review, all one word. And you can sign up for dedicated time. On a future live session. You can show us what you want to work on ahead of time. Say, hey, I'm working on this course and trying to figure this out. Or will you analyze the copy on my homepage and help me make it better, or whatever that might be that you're working on. You can let us know and we can get together and do that here. And if you're not able to attend the live call, you can just indicate so we can look over your work on the call and you can watch the review on the recording. All right. So again, thank you guys for being here today. Thanks, Greg and Amanda, for all you do, making this amazing platform for us. And we will see you guys back here next week, same time. Y'all have a great
Yes,
week.
thank you.
See ya.